What is your name?
My name is Pam Stewart.
Where are you from?
Like, where on this planet am I from? I'm from Dearborn, Michigan.
How old were you on September 11th, 2001?
I was 32 years old.
Where were you on September 11th, 2001 when we were attacked?
Well, I was sitting in my backyard. It was a beautiful day. I had a newborn, Joseph Kaminsky, who was about 4 weeks old, and I had a 2-year-old. And I was sitting in my backyard in Dearborn, Michigan, relaxing, holding you, and watching my 2-year-old run around with the dog.
How did you find out about the attacks? What were you doing at that time?
That's interesting because it was probably about, I don't know, maybe noontime. We had not turned on the TV at all that day, so I had no idea until my sister-in-law called me. I answered the phone, and she was upset, and my first thought was, oh my gosh, somebody died. And I thought maybe it was somebody in our family. And after a few seconds, she said, oh, Pam, you don't know. And then she said, I don't know if I should tell you. And I said, you better tell me. And she told me what had happened. So we went in the house and I turned on the television and I spent the rest of the day staring at the television and watching footage and listening to people talk about what had happened.
What is your most vivid memory of that day?
My most vivid memory, probably that I couldn't fathom that that there were people on this planet that could be so completely and purely evil that they would do something like that to innocent humans.
What do you remember about how the nation and its leaders came together in the days following September 11th?
Well, I remember that it was a time of unity. I remember people, coming together to travel out east. Your grandpa went out east with a bunch of other firefighters to help the local fire departments near Washington, like near the Pentagon and near the World Trade Center site. And this was after, once it was, the air quality was okay, that people could come in and they needed help with things. So I remember that, but then I also remember that there were some war drums beating at the same time. I remember our president, in my opinion, used this opportunity to gain support for sending American troops into Iraq. So that really, I suppose, wasn't a sign of unity, but I think it was political opportunism.
Okay, what did you think of the government's reaction to the attacks?
Well, the word opportunist again. I think people can twist situations to make them fit their needs. Because I didn't notice our government sending troops over into Saudi Arabia, and it's my understanding that most of those hijackers, the people that flew those kamikaze missions, were from the UAE, not from Iraq.
Well, that's because we got oil from there.
Really?
Yeah. Do you agree with the decision to invade Afghanistan? Why?
Afghanistan?
That's what it says.
Yes, I think we should have done it years ago, though. Before you were born, I remember reading a Time magazine article about the way that females were being treated in that country and the Taliban, and I thought, why isn't anybody getting involved? Oh, it's just women. And then again, when it became something related to oil, something related to the dollar, then, oh, yes, we need to go and invade them.
Do you agree with the decision to invade Iraq? Why?
No. Oh, why?
Yeah.
Because it had nothing to do with 9/11.
Okay. Do you support the additional security at airports and explain?
Yes, I do, because there are evil people and there are opportunistic people, not just that work in our government, but people that have agendas. And unfortunately, those agendas involve hurting American citizens. So, yes, I do support that. If that's what's needed to keep my family and myself safe when we fly, when we travel by air, then that's what needs to happen, I guess.
Okay, and do you believe the government should be able to listen to phone calls or read private emails in order to fight terrorism?
I believe if there's some kind of a, I don't know the right word, I don't want to say reasonable doubt, that isn't what I mean, but if someone is a security risk because of background or their connections with where they funneled money or political connection, then yes, they should. Someone who's boring like me and donates to Doctors Without Borders and other boring charitable places like that, someone who was born in this country, no, I don't think they should be listening carte blanche to every American.
Okay, and do you believe the nation is safer today as a result of the changes that took place?
To be honest, I'm not really sure.
Okay, and why do you think it's important for students to learn about 9/11? Like,
I think it's important for students to learn about the things that our government did right and the things that they didn't do right. I think that it's important for them to learn that, other cultures might be different and, it's okay to be different, but at some point there's a line that's crossed when that other culture involves killing and hatred and suicide as a means of gaining access to heaven or whatever those suicide pilots thought they were getting. I think it's important for kids to get realistic information.
okay, that's it. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.